used to be frivolity in access to the Colorado River water as a supply. And you look at how Southern California has grown, and they build lawns and build pools and grow people, and they don't really think, and this is a broad statement, but the infrastructure needs, the community needs, the lack of self-sufficiency from one important element of life, which is water. And they had pretty much free access to the Colorado River. And in the early 2000s, they came to an agreement called the Colorado River Settlement. And it defined who could have what and to what quantity, including now, most recent settlement, sending Colorado River water into Mexico. So there now has been a definition to the available water from the Colorado River to Southern California, and they're saying it's not enough to meet our needs. We need another guaranteed supply. We're going to go back to the Delta. Well, the Delta doesn't have a guarantee of supply. We don't even know what it needs to get healthy. No one's done that study. And they're saying, well, we need the water to maintain our Central Valley farms and to maintain our communities and our lifestyle in Southern California. Okay, well, wait a minute. Let's have a little different discussion. So the Colorado River is a component of the project because of the negativity and the lack of supply that's been defined, and so they're looking at another way to solve the problem. We should be looking in Oregon and maybe up north of us where there's massive amounts of fresh water through their climate, that maybe there's a pipeline that we could tap in there that is excess and wouldn't harm their economy, their environment, or their communities.
How many desalination plants could they build for $22 billion?
Yeah. They say they're working on desal. They're not doing it enough. Again, you look at other countries in the world and how they value water and they appreciate it. You go to dine in many European countries and they don't give you water on the table. And you look at the water here, and a lot of that, frankly, will go down the drain. We're very wasteful with our water, even though we have a knowledge of its value and importance. We're not valuing it enough, and we're having constant political water grabs for the supply that we have, and we're not managing it properly, we're not respecting it properly, and we're not we're not building into the future. We're not talking about desal, we're not talking about water storage. In this comprehensive puzzle that's necessary that we find the pieces that need together. Otherwise, the fight's going to always be a fight. It's always going to be a battle. And in my leadership, that's not anything I'm interested in. I'd rather see solutions. There was one more question.
Yeah, it's a very complex issue. And I'm hearing a couple of plans coming out and positions kind of starting to polarize. The water plan for all, and then the Bay Delta Conservation Plan. Sounds really nice, right? Mm-hmm. Conservation plan. But is there a leaning toward one or the other that you have, and because I hear that the water plan for all of California is like the Garamendi plan. Is that something that I'm hearing you supporting?
As a county and as an individual, we are not supporting a project. What we are saying is BDCP is one project, 9,000 cubic feet per second, doesn't create water, and no thorough cost benefit analysis. It's looking at one alignment, the tunnels.
Right.
We're saying you need to look at more alternatives thoroughly, including Western Delta. It may get wiped off from an environmental element or impact, but we should be looking at Western Delta because that's where the salinity line is, and maybe we need to have a desal plant there, but you talk about building into the future versus just taking something for today. So the Garamendi plan is on the mark as far as what needs to be analyzed beyond just one tunnel. As I said, I'm willing to share. If it were my choice, if I were, the king or the queen, I'm willing to share, but we don't have the information that identifies what's available to share. And then how do we manage it once we've identified it?
And are we heading toward a deadline where we're
yeah.
needing to make some decisions? And how soon is
Yes,
that?
yes, the political process is forcing these timelines, these deadlines, these demarcation dates. And they've ended up getting extended and extended and extended the last couple of years, which has been good for us. But there's still a major drive to get this done, particularly the water exporters. They're spending $240 million today just to get it to the table. Just to get BDCP to the table, $240 million. They won't give us any money to study our local impacts, but they're spending $240 million through the state and the federal agencies to get their project, to get it approved through this conservation plan. So the Garamendi plan is comprehensive, talks about storage, talks about levy funding, talks about alternatives in alignment, but we don't have enough information to say, yes, that's what we support. What we can say is, we support a thorough analysis, let's get the information, and then we make a decision. But money shouldn't drive it, politics shouldn't drive it, egos shouldn't drive it, not at such a huge expense to us.
And that's why I raised my question, because if we're heading toward a deadline and we don't make a decision, and we don't all get behind the one that's really going to work, then we're going to lose them. And so we need to kind of get to that point.
And that's what we say, we'd rather get a solution to the problem, so we stop the fight. Maybe not everybody's happy, but maybe we can move the discussion to the 21st century instead of the last one. Sir?
Thank you.
Okay, so it's really obvious that to make this change, we have to advocate, bring our communities together. Is there another public discussion that we're going to have, like a city council meeting? Also, is there another source of information where I can get to maybe broadcast this to you?
One of the handouts has, I think, Restore the Delta is a terrific grassroots community group, yeah, that is able to link advocacy with events. To answer your question, there are lots of events, lots of meetings taking place talking about the Delta. Most of them are in Sacramento. And when they come down locally, they don't like it because they get a room full of angry community members, which is fine, it's what you'd expect, but they don't like it. So they don't like to come down because they just want to get their thing done. But I will give some credit to the state and federal agencies at the staff level. They're realizing that even though there's $240 million being spent, the water exporters want their project, that they really do need to pay attention to the environment. And things have slowed down because of that. We're looking at things maybe a little differently, which is important because you've got to start at that level. You can't start about with the need. You've got to start at what the practicality is. So Restore the Delta would be a good contact for you to make on that. The City of Antioch, I know, has the item on their agenda frequently. I get out to communities to talk about it as much as I can. But really, the debate needs to occur in the Central Valley and in LA. We need to be writing letters to the editor in those communities saying, what is this going to cost you as a consumer? Are you ready to have a $400 a month water bill regularly? Are you ready for that economically in your community and your economic impacts to your businesses? Are you that flow of information from Metropolitan Water and the other water agencies is not coming down to their consumers? You hit people in the pocketbook, they're going to start paying attention. That's the argument we need to get here. We can preach to the choir. We can get all rattled out, but down there is where we really need to make the fight. So with that, I thank all of you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you. It's a really, really important issue. We are all affected by it in our community, no matter where our community is, whether it's Brentwood or Antioch or Lafayette. We are definitely affected by it, and your role can be very, very important on helping put some logic and leadership and some community into the debate. Thank you.